Hello. I'm making a nice face here that Facebook actually gets a good picture this time, but I doubt that it'll happen. Welcome to the pre-production mode of the Xander Gibb Show. We are live, and we are going live everywhere. We are live on YouTube. And I want to buy a gun and shoot everyone on TikTok. But there you go. As it's legal to own a gun in the United Kingdom, I won't be buying one. But I am sure you can share my frustration with idiots. Oh, yes, sir. We're just waiting to be able to share to places and stuff. But there you go. Hi, Janie. You're here early. Welcome. I hope you are good. We're just sharing the show. Feel free to click that share button. We're just getting started. Oh, wow. It's a good picture this time. I'm glad I posed for it. For a change. We just got to get the YouTube link so we can share that too. I look pretty for a change. Oh, yes, sirree. It's cold here tonight in the UK. It's like 49 degrees. 49 degrees in the shade, sir. Come on. Is your computer slow tonight? Because mine is. Mine is very, 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 very slow. But it won't impede us doing the show, hopefully. Just sharing to Parler. I'm still not very impressed with Parler. I don't know about you. And sharing to Instagram. Man. And I'm now sharing, I was going to say I'm sharing to YouTube. I'm going to share the YouTube link on Fascist Book. Quite pleased with that picture today. That's great. Usually it's like, I actually posed for quite a while. I was like, there we go. That's that shared on there. Oh, gosh. Janie, allergies. Tell me about it. Might have been terrible today. My eyes are still streaming now. I have to wear a little bit of makeup for the show. You know, this is not all kind of like natural beauty. And just, doing my eyes, it's like you wear a little bit of eye makeup and you have allergies and your eyes are like streaming, to say the least. In fact, they're doing it now, but it stings. That's the problem. I'm just going to share to switch off that volume. Here we go. So, being sure not to share in any groups that wouldn't want me to do so. Because they get so upset when you share to their groups. Because they know that they're perfect and they would never share to a group that they shouldn't be sharing in. Share to all of the Trump groups. Here we go. Getting there. Gosh. Just shared it to one I shouldn't have. And another one. Right, I have to stop now. Stop talking. And go and rescue. What was that one? Here we go. Gotta find the right. We're getting there. Oh, it's all good fun. Here we go. Hi, Chris. Hi to everybody on the live feed. Welcome. I will come and say hello to everyone individually. I just have to finish sharing, because sharing is caring. Where are we? We are there. I just have to make a couple of amendments to shares that I've made. Hello, my Gina. I will come and say hello to everybody in just un momento. Let's put the fan on for a minute, because if I leave this in a couple of the groups that I've shared in, what happens is I get into trouble and we get crazy people coming into the live feed to fight with us and give us problems, because you should not be sharing in groups that are local. Here we go. Here's one of them. And here's number 2. And if I just take them out with my pop-pop gun, we won't have any problems. Fingers crossed. We're getting ready to go live across the nation. Well, it's in the internation, actually. Whereas it's coming, it's slow. But like Christmas, it's coming. Christmas is coming. The goose is getting fat. But Xander is getting thinner. Got weighed today. Lost some more weight. Still got a long ways to go, but I certainly am getting there. Where is this? I'm just trying to find these posts so I can take them out. It's so hard get these problems when you share to groups that you're not supposed to share to, because you get crazy people coming into the group and they just want to fight with you. And now my computer is very slow, which is very typical. Hello to everybody in the live feed. I promise you I will be coming and saying hello to everybody personally. That's what you get in the live feed of the Xander Gibb Show. Oh, got some news about the t-shirts too. From next week, you'll be able to buy merch. You'll be able to buy t-shirts with "Oh Yes Siree" on them, and "Goats Lives Matter," which I think is absolutely hilarious. I can't get the computer to do what I need it to do. Why is it so damn slow? But just talk amongst yourselves, because we will get started any minute. Here we go. Let's just delete that from there. Oh God, here we go. The page keeps jumping. It's almost as if Mark Zuckerberg has heard that I have made reference to the fact that he has a trophy wife. I mean, would I do that, guys? Would I make reference to the fact that Mark Zuckerberg has... No, she's not even a trophy wife, is she? She's a mail order bride. There you go. That should have deleted that, but it's still there. No, it's deleted. It's got one more to delete, which will get us to go live in plenty of time. Got some great guests for you tonight, and some fabulous topics as per usual. We have a great show, and I'm sure Chet will be calling us for his daily chat about what's pissed him off during the day. And I'm sure there's a lot, because there's a lot that's pissed me off too. Right, we're going to click delete there. We're going to click close. We're going to click close. And we are going to go to here. And we are going to go to the opening titles in 5, 4, 3, 2. As quick as you can say, welcome to the Xander Gibb Show. It hurt to me this time around. Things were bound to change when it was found. Sugar never tasted sweeter on Well, hello, welcome to the Xander Gibb Show, the talk show that really does get you talking on the Xandermonium Network, live from an undisclosed location. I know it's not your mother's basement. I am Xander Gibb, and I'll be bringing you the best in Patriot broadcasting 5 nights a week. On tonight's edition, I get on my soapbox, give you the opportunity to get on yours too, and I'll phone in, analyzing the real news and giving you the chance to have your comment. Chris Saucier, Navy vet, drops by, and in part 2 we break down today's hottest topics once more with Tony Lusacco. You can have your say below in the live feed, and as usual I'll be sharing your comments as we go. You can follow me on social media and check me out at xandergibb.com. Oh yes, sorry, xandergibb.com is where you can check me out. Let's come to the live feed and say hello to everybody therein. It's dwindled somewhat. There were 28 people in the room just a minute ago. Hello to Janie. Hello to Chris. Hello to my Gina. Hello to Chet. Welcome to the live feed. Hello to Carla. Hello to who else is there? Hello to everyone that's watching but not in the live feed. Do come join us. You are more than welcome. Chet says Zuck has an ugly wife. He definitely does. And that's not because she's Asian, because we're not racist on this show. We love everybody. So that's a great segue, actually, because Facebook is facing a growing advertiser boycott. Dozens of companies announced over the past month that they'll pause ad spending on the social network. A new report reveals that in addition to the companies that announced they were joining the boycott, a handful of major advertisers quietly paused ad spending on Facebook with no announcement this month. Walmart, Geico, McDonald's, Allstate, Kellogg's, Kohl's, Dell, Peloton, IKEA all paused Facebook ads in July, causing a drop in income for the social network and losing the millions in revenue, according to a recent report. Now, the boycott was started by civil rights activists and protesters against hate speech and misinformation on Facebook's platform. But for advertisers, pulling out of Facebook is more about brand safety than political activism. It serves you right, Zuck. You know, we were saying this for a long time. We've been saying to boycott Facebook, and that we would boycott companies that were actually advertising on there. Hello to James, who said he's in the UK. I'm kind of glad that that's happened. I don't usually believe in cancel culture, but when you are doing this kind of thing all the time, Zuck, it's going to come back and bite you on your pimply ass. I'm talking to pimply acid. Wrong teeth in tonight. Talking of pimply asses, Kanye West comments over the past few weeks, particularly during his South Carolina Right, okay, I've got the wrong teeth in today. His South Carolina campaign rally yesterday are reportedly having a damaging effect on his relationship with Kim Kardashian, according to People. Things have broken down significantly between the two of them, and it's happening pretty suddenly. Apparently, Kardashian is said to be furious and shocked by West's comments about Northwest from his South Carolina rally yesterday. About West's comments about Northwest, it sounds like I'm reading a map, but I promise you I'm not. West spoke during the rally about how he and Kardashian had discussed terminating their first pregnancy with Northwest, and even brought up the possibility of Kardashian divorcing him because of the intimate detail he was sharing during his anti-abortion rant. I almost killed my daughter. My girlfriend called me screaming and crying. He said, I'm a rapper. And she said, I'm pregnant. She was crying. Even if my wife were to divorce me after this speech, she brought North into this world when I did not want her to. She stood up to me and protected that child. People are kind of mixed about this response from the perspective of, the pro-lifers are saying, it's great that they kind of didn't go through with it. But people are talking about women's rights in this situation. I think someone needs to take the mic away from Kanye right now, though, because he's clearly troubled, to say the least. Anarchists and rioters have wreaked havoc on Portland, Oregon for nearly 2 months. Democrats have excused and emboldened them, and they're now claiming that the real problem is that federal law enforcement has intervened to restore order. Now, if radicals feel emboldened, that's because Portland has long allowed political violence to occur with impunity. And now they're actually going to want money to repair the damage that has been done from the taxpayer's pocket. And I don't think that that should be the case. Why should we, the taxpayer, be responsible for the failures, yet again, of Democrats? World Rugby is considering banning trans women from playing women's rugby because of the significant safety concerns that have emerged following recent research. Now, a decision that would make it the first international sports federation to go down that path. A 38-page draft document produced by its transgender working group, it is acknowledged that there is likely to be a 20 to 30% greater risk of injury when female players are tackled by someone who has gone through male puberty. Now, the document also says the latest science that shows trans women retain significant physical advantages over biological women, even after they take medication to lower their testosterone. I think that this is actually a good move. And it's not that I'm transphobic before people write in and suggest that. But if you do want to suggest that, you can get to me at Xander Gibb at idon'tgiveacrap.com. You can definitely find me there. But trans females who were born male do have a significant advantage over women. I was going to say real women then, but you're not allowed to say that anymore, even though they are real women. So something needs to be done about that. Chet says, I always thought Kanye was an asshole, even when he supported President Trump. Quite right. And finally, a 15-year-old black girl who has been incarcerated in Michigan since mid-May after she failed to do her online schoolwork will not be returning home, a judge decided on Monday, in a case that has stoked outrage in its emblematic of systemic racism and the criminalization of black children. Oakland County Judge, I wonder if she was an Obama appointee, Judge Mary Ellen Brennan determined that the girl has been benefiting from a residential treatment program at a juvenile detention center, but is not ready to be with her mother. Brennan, the presiding judge over the court's family division, scheduled another hearing for September. Now, what would actually make this racist if she would do something different in the case of a white child? But to be honest, if the kid is acting out, if the kid is not doing what they're supposed to be doing, I guess that's why she is not being allowed to go home to her family. Chet says, yeah, trans women have an advantage because they're men. Marcus Ormston says, is this an American show? I'm actually broadcasting from the UK. I am an American, but we talk about British and American politics, but you are more than welcome to join us, Marcus. Welcome to the show. We have time for a couple of calls. If you're in the United States, you can call us on 845-363-4747. That's if you're in the United States, 845-363-4747. But if you're in the UK, you can call us on 0208-133-5274. That's 0208-133-5274. And not a lot of people know that. So the lines are open now. Chet says, did you see Maxine Waters harassing the police officer who had pulled a black man over? Have you not slept since last night's show, Chet? We discussed that last night on the show. Maxine Waters exceeding her authority. Who the hell does she think she is? So the lines are open. Give us a call. 845-363-4747 if you're in the United States. And if you are in the United Kingdom, you can call us on 0208-133-5274. That's 0208-133-5274. So you can call us either from the United States or the United Kingdom. Who likes my British accent? It's quite a Cockney accent, but it's still British. Oh, yes, sirree. So give us a call now, wherever you are calling from. You can talk to us about any of the things we've just been discussing, or you can tell us what's pissing you off, because I know there's a lot that's pissing me off today, over and above the things that I just was talking about, I'm actually thinking of leaving TikTok because I'm bored shitless with young people telling me that I'm homophobic and telling me I'm a grandfather at 35. You see, all those children I had years ago, I never thought that I would end up, being referred to as a grandfather and a homophobe. And I obviously can guess all of these people are liberals that are saying this kind of bullshit. Oh, Xander Gibb, you swore. Looks like we have a call coming through. Let's click the pickup button. Hello, you're live on the Xander Gibb Show. What's your name and where are you calling from, chat?
You know what I think, Xander? I think I got confused because I hadn't watched the video until today, but you're right. I know we talked about it last night. I'm sorry.
It's cool. I find myself writing out stories that we've actually done the day before because the thing is that when you're having to read, like you even though you do a weekly show, you have to take the best of the stories that are out there to kind of comment upon. So, and so much of the news is so similar right now, it kind of leaves you thinking, did we already do this? Did we already talk about this? So I totally get it. So what, aside of the Maxine Waters, Mad Max, and the police story when she should have been arrested, what else has jumped out to you today? What has really pissed you off?
Well, I saw on USA Today that John Kasich is going to be speaking for Biden at the DNC convention. Did you see this?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, and the wording's really weird. They talked about representing Joe Biden. Does that mean Joe Biden isn't going to speak at the DNC convention, Xander?
Wouldn't surprise
Is that what
me.
they're doing?
Wouldn't surprise me. But as a side note for this with Joe Biden, we've chatted about this quite a lot. But isn't it disingenuous that the Democrats are still trotting this guy out? And he's clearly not well. He's clearly dementing.
No.
And he does deserve the level of response that we're giving to him because he's unable to do the job. But it's actually more about the Democrats being so desperate.
Well, I think the issue in what you're talking about is he seems to be getting worse. The more we see him, it's pretty clear that he's not getting better.
Right.
And you don't get better when you're dementing, or I don't want to throw any certain disease his way. I don't want to do that. But when you're clearly dementing, you have, I guess, your good days and bad days, from what I understand.
Right.
And then you have days where you are just useless. Not useless as a human being.
Yeah.
I mean, useless as far as carrying on a conversation or being the president of the United States. I mean, really.
Yeah.
It's really sick what they're doing. I mean,
they
will actually support someone who has no clue what day it is or the difference between his sister and his wife.
Yeah, it's sad, really, when you think about it, just from the perspective of, regardless of whether we agree with his politics or not, or his racism and stuff that he's done, to be trotting out someone that is sick, that is clearly dementing. I'm a qualified social worker. I'm not qualified to diagnose, but I have worked with seniors that are dementing, and he clearly is displaying the signs of dementia. Janie is a nurse, and Janie is saying in the live feed, hi to CV and Dave, by the way, there are 4 stages and he seems to be in stage 2. And I would concur with that. Now, as I said, I'm not a doctor or a nurse, although I have played a naughty nurse very often, but that's a topic for a different show. But I do think something is clearly wrong, and we can't, in a caring society, continue to let this carry on, I don't think.
No, and Dr. Kendra Becker-Musanti, who's on with you all the time, has said that it's clear that he's got dementia. I mean, it's just, I'm going to take her word over Wolf Blitzer,
right,
or over Don Lemonade,
yeah,
or the other schmuck on CNN that won't even talk about it, and then they criticize Trump for the way he walks.
Yeah, and
it's like Trump gets in front of the camera in the media,
yeah,
and these left-wing
on a slippery ramp.
every day.
Donald Trump was on a slippery ramp. But I have to just mention with regards to Don Lemon, have you heard that the left are now calling him Don Lemon? Which I think is freaking hilarious.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are. I swear to you. I mean, is it his gay name
Why
or
are
what?
they calling him Don Lemon?
Yeah, I've heard
What's
that
the
on
reason
several
behind
shows.
that?
I have to, like you, I have to watch so much shit. When I hear them saying Don Lemon, I'm like, is this what his boyfriend calls him or something? Is this what we have to call him now from now on? So I wonder if I should call myself Xander Gibb now. Just to kind of like fall in line.
Yeah, that's pretty disturbing. They're probably doing it to get attention because CNN gets beat out by Nickelodeon on a daily basis. So maybe they're just trying to gin up some turmoil and have people talking about Don Lemon,
right? Like
me and you are right now.
Exactly.
Xander, seeing the situation that's going on in Portland, do the leftist extremists that are calling out for the abolishment of state and local police municipalities understand that that's what will happen across the country?
Yeah.
Do they get that?
Oh, definitely. But, we can't rule out martial law, can we? We can't rule out that there's a stage before that I can never remember because I'm not a legal scholar, but there is a stage before martial law that they are going to end up instituting if people don't, stop smashing everything up and rioting and looting. And I blame the Democratic governors for not putting a stop to this already, Yeah,
I do too. And the sad part is, I don't think these left-wing extremists are very bright, and I don't think they even make any correlation between the two.
No.
But obviously that's what's happening because they are forcing the hand.
Right.
And the extremists on the left don't understand. The Democrats want a police state. They're not going to get rid of the police. They're just going to corrupt them and make them worse.
Of course,
and
privatize them.
Put us in a bad spot.
Absolutely. I just realized it's time we have two guests today, so we're not going to be able to talk for any longer. So I'm sorry for that, but we'll have more time to talk tomorrow. But thank you so much for calling in. Chet Martin from Freedom on Deck. We will speak to you again very soon.
Take care, Dan.
Thanks a lot, brother. Take care. So this should be my first guest of the day. This should be a Navy vet, Christian Saucier, calling us from the United States of America. Welcome back to the show, Chris. Welcome back to the show, Chris. How is the world with you, sir? Hello.
Hi, Xander.
Hi, Chris. How you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you doing?
I am wonderful. It's a bit cold here tonight in the UK. It's like 49 degrees, but everybody's telling me in the US it's like, they're sitting by the pool and things like that. So I'm a little I've got weather envy tonight. So I want to jump right in. As you no doubt have heard, let me just give a bit of background for people that have been living under a rock and don't know who you are. Christian Saucier, our friend Chris is a friend of the show, and Chris went to jail for having 6 selfies of a submarine, a 40-year-old submarine that he'd been working on, when other people in the same situation had demotions and fines and things like this. But Chris was sent to jail as an example. Now, Chris had 6 misdemeanors, 6 offenses, and you can correct me after. But Hillary had like thousands. But Chris was sent to jail for over a year. But the president gave you a pardon. Is that right?
That's correct. Yep.
Right. Absolutely. So this in the last week or so, Roger Stone had his sentence commuted. As someone who's received a pardon, how do you feel about this? And do you feel that he should have had a pardon rather than his sentence commuted?
Well, I think the president did the right thing by commuting his sentence. Roger Stone got treated unfairly.
Absolutely.
They did a pre-dawn raid with frogmen at his house, coming up the river behind his house and dragging an elderly man out in front of the cameras, which they, conveniently made sure were there at 6 a.m. when they were raiding his house. And for what? For lying to Congress? Well, what about Hillary Clinton lying to Congress? What about Brennan and Clapper and James Comey and Andrew McCabe? I mean, I could go on and on of the people that we've caught lying to Congress about actual offenses. Because, as we all know now, the whole Russiagate thing was all a hoax. So he lied to Congress or, didn't tell the complete truth or whatever about something that was a non-issue. And here you've got people lying about Benghazi, lying about, spying on the American public without warrants. And that's an actual crime.
Yeah.
That's an actual violation of the Constitution.
Absolutely.
And none of them are being held to the same standard as Roger Stone. I'd love to see James Clapper or Jim Comey get drug out in a pre-dawn raid and, be blasted all over Fox News. But we all know that's never going to happen.
No, but you must kind of hold some sympathy, probably a lot more than most people, because you actually went through this too. Because they came to your house and did the same thing and embarrassed your wife and treated you badly, while your kids were in the house. And all of this, and you lost everything because of a politicized judge, which is the same case with Amy Bitchface, whatever her name is. In this case, I can call her that because it's true. So you must have a level of understanding greater than most of us in this situation.
Well, absolutely. I had a judge appointed by Bill Clinton, so they obviously took no sympathy on the fact that Hillary Clinton was getting away with far worse offenses than what he was sending me to prison for a year for, And I like him, enjoyed the pre-dawn raid of armed agents, pointing guns at my family and my children, because Roger Stone and I are arch criminals that required that level of scrutiny worse than drug lords get. But, I think it's just, another fine example, just like we see playing out right now with the judge in the General Flynn case.
Right.
These judges are all liberal and, appointed by liberal presidents, and they're all taking these stands, making these grandiose statements about how they're correcting the wrongs. Well, what wrongs are they correcting? Because they're not going after the true criminals, and for that matter, it's not their job to do that. But, here we find ourselves in a conflicted justice system where, some people get punished for non-crimes to the max extent of the law. I mean, Roger Stone, what good was it going to do to stick that guy in prison for, I don't remember what his term was, 3 years or 6 years, but what good was that going to do society versus what good would it do society to stick corrupt law enforcement officials like James Comey and corrupt, people that weaponized our tools of the government like the CIA against the American people. What good would it do to stick them in prison? A lot of good, because it would set an example that, what's been happening in the past is wrong, and we're going to punish those people. But sending Roger Stone to prison for, doing his part to try to publish, even if he had a part in it, getting the truth published by WikiLeaks, which honestly I think Julian Assange should be considered a hero for doing what he did, And, for having any connection with him, somehow Roger Stone's a bad guy. Why? Because he published the leaked DNC emails that showed that they were all plotting against Bernie Sanders. It was all a giant hoax to rig the election system. That was the true election rigging. And nobody's upset about that. But, they're going to continue to play out this Russia hoax.
But the thing for me with all of this is, because I think I always come back to this, and I say this every time you come on the show. The law is the law is the law. But two people can do the same crime and actually, or the same thing and actually be treated totally differently, dependent on the judge and their political leaning. And that's a concern for me, because the law should be the precedent, not the political ideologies. Because, Roger Stone is saying that this is just, Roger Stone was quite well off, and this has destroyed him financially. But it did the same to you, didn't it? Let's face it.
Absolutely, yeah. And I had not as far to fall as Roger Stone did. So, it destroyed me probably worse than it destroyed him. But, I mean, General Flynn, look at that guy, a guy who honorably served his country for over 30 years, and they wrecked him and made him sell his house and do all this for what? For nothing. He didn't commit a crime. And they did the same thing as they did to me. They bullied me into pleading guilty.
Right.
Roger Stone fought it in court, but like you said, because he had a judge that was obviously biased, he wasn't allowed to have a fair trial.
No.
And had he had a fair trial and an impartial jury, perhaps they would have came to the conclusion that all of us, with common sense, do, that, hey, Roger Stone didn't commit a crime. Roger Stone may not be the beacon of, the perfect, citizen or denizen of society, but does he deserve to be punished for a non-crime? No.
Exactly.
Just because you don't like who he's affiliated with doesn't mean that he's a criminal, and he's not. Roger Stone is Roger Stone, and he hides none of that. He is very clear about who he is.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
What about all these people that hide behind the guise of law enforcement and James Comey and his, a higher power that he's somehow better than everybody else? I mean, these people, these are the true criminals. These are the people that need to be put in their place.
Yeah, these people need to be in jail. But they're not actually trying to get at, even with you, they're not actually trying to get at you, even though that you were the fall guy, even though Roger Stone was the fall guy. They're actually trying to get at Trump. And when you actually look at people like Roseanne Barr and what went on recently with, oh God, what's his name? The guy who was married to, the black guy who was married to, God, I can't think of his name. Roseanne lost her career for a silly comment that wasn't even racist, but it was actually not because of what she said. It's because she had defended Trump. And the guy whose name escaped me, because he was a liberal.
Being ostracized for
Right.
supporting Trump. Just craziness.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
But the concern is that how do people rebuild their life? Because I'm sure you won't mind me saying, but you don't even have your benefits, do you? You served America. You were in the Navy for a period of time, and now you don't even have the benefits that would be attached to that because your life was turned upside down over a political witch hunt, basically.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's true.
Yep. So what one of the things that's kind of come out of this basically, and I'm gonna read this statement now. What they're actually saying was they're trying now to change it, the situation about political pardons, and they've said in order to curb abuses, some argue the pardon power must be revised to limit its scope. The most common suggestion is for presidents to be barred from pardoning anyone who is directly connected to an impeachment investigation. Also, others have argued for including Congress in pardon decisions, either by giving it more oversight or shifting the entire process to the legislative branch. Either change would likely require constitutional amendment. Now, I don't know about you, but I couldn't agree to that because that politicizes it further. Because what that does is it gives the left a further opportunity to twist the frickin' knife.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, that they get to decide, how the president gets to exercise his authority as the president.
Right.
It's just another attempt by them to obfuscate power from President Trump and from any future president,
Right.
who thinks that somebody's been wrong, like Roger Stone or Michael Flynn or me, and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to set this right to the best of my ability. Unfortunately, I still don't have my benefits, and I still don't have my honorable discharge from the military, but he did what he could to restore my life and make me whole again, and the Democrats hate that. They hate
Of course.
that. I don't know if you've noticed, but pretty much every one of his pardons and commutations, Dinesh D'Souza, Joe Arpaio, obviously Roger Stone, he's gotten a lot of criticism for it, but they haven't criticized mine for obvious reasons because they can't really turn it political. What happened to me was wrong, and if they dig into it at all, they have to admit that they are wrong for allowing Hillary Clinton and all these other people that have committed far worse crimes of, that are violations of the Espionage Act to just get away with it because, it doesn't fit their narrative.
Right.
So this is the problem, right? So they say, oh, well, he can't pardon somebody because it's related to him.
Yeah.
Well, who better knows the true heart of Roger Stone or General Flynn than President Trump, because he knows these people. He knows that what they did personally, he knows it wasn't a crime. And he has to sit back and watch it play out in the courts, which I'm sure was difficult for him, watching his friends and people he's known for years go through this pain that I went through and not be able to do anything because,
Right.
heaven forbid, he could have intervened in any part of that. Bill Clinton intervened in many people's trials before
Yeah.
they were even convicted.
Exactly.
And he got his brother-in-law out of prison. I mean, this is what happens when President Trump tries to take a stand. He lets the legal system play out, however failed it is right now. And then when it finally gets done, he says, you know what happened was wrong. And he does his best to correct it. But,
Absolutely.
that's not enough for them. That he
No.
didn't interfere with it at all.
But do you know who I blame for this? In tantamount, the person I blame for all of this is Barack Obama because he politicized the judiciary. The whole point of anybody that works in the legal system, whether they be a judge or work for the FBI, the law should be the guiding light. And I've said this all along. If you had been treated the same way as your peers that had done the same thing, committed the same misdemeanor, or made the same mistake, however you want to put it, I wouldn't know you and your family now because you would have just taken that on the chin and said, yeah, I deserve that. I shouldn't have taken the pictures. But because your case was politicized, it brought it to, and thank God it did, to the public eye because had it not, you might be still sitting in jail right now. Without the grassroots campaign that took place to get you out of jail and get you pardoned, you might have been sitting in jail because of people like Barack Obama still.
Absolutely. The same guy who, by the way, pardoned, treasonous, traitors and people that just, and called people heroes that had abandoned their, fellow soldiers. And other people died searching for it. But, him and Susan Rice, who, might be a vice presidential pick, apparently, called the, Bo Bergdahl a hero. So, yeah, I mean, that's the really sad part. Where's the outrage at that? Where's the outrage at Obama?
Exactly.
I'm sorry, just because he was black doesn't mean that he gets away with all of that.
No.
He gets to lie about all of that.
No, but if you criticize him, you're racist.
Grateful to have a black president that was a Republican that told the truth and didn't lie and served out his term, or a woman president for that matter that didn't lie. But here we have Hillary Clinton. That's the options we have: Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton.
Yeah,
the two biggest liars in recent history.
Scary. Hi to Yaz and to Maria who just joined us in the live feed. The scary thing about this is that it actually highlights the level of change that needs to occur within the FBI. And I have to say, I don't blame agents. This is a senior level because agents don't get a say in who they go after. It's a senior level that this happens at. So people like James Comey, et cetera, I think he thinks he's sitting pretty. But I predict that when Donald John Trump, I'm giving him a new middle name there, I was going to call him James, when Donald John Trump wins on November 3rd, in January of 2021, there will be so many subpoenas issued that their heads will be spinning. Because I think that America needs to see real justice. The Clintons walk away from it all. Comey walks away from it all. And the only ones that are actually penalized or have any punitive reaction are anybody that supports the president. And that is so un-American.
Well, and I think the biggest thing to point out too is, and most people, honestly, I didn't understand it until I went through it, that simply not going to prison doesn't mean that, well, you know what, it's like it never happened. Getting pardoned after prison, or like Roger Stone getting commuted, or Michael Flynn finally getting vindicated. It's the hell that they put you through in the process. It's almost as bad as going to prison. The hell they put your family through, and they destroy your good name. And people think, okay, well, it's done, it's over with,
right.
and you move on. Well, no, you have to pick up the pieces of your life.
Absolutely.
It doesn't just walk away. The prosecutors and the judge get to say, okay, well, no harm, no foul. Well, no, that's not the case.
No.
And they've done that to so many people in the Trump orbit. Anybody that even remotely supports him, and look at Denise D'Souza. I mean, how many campaign finance violations did Obama get accused of and actually got proven that he'd done, and he got away with it, and Denise D'Souza goes to prison because he's a conservative.
Exactly.
This is the extremely flawed system that we have, And I think President Trump has pointed it out, and I hope you're right. I hope when he wins re-election that he goes after these people and that they start flipping them, because I can tell you what, James Comey and Andrew McCabe are going to sing like birds as soon as they get down 20-year sentences in prison with people put there.
Of course. And it only takes a few more dominoes to topple for the whole house to fall, because I think even with the documentation that's been released, like the FISA warrants and stuff like that, prosecutions can't be far away. I think we've got to get rid of Bill Barr. I don't trust Bill Barr. I don't think he's done anything but sit on his fat dopey ass for all the time he's been doing the job. But I think 2021 will bring change, and maybe a new AG, and an AG that's unafraid of the downfall of prosecuting these people. We got to leave it there, Chris. But tell people where they can find out more about you, where they can buy the book, if it's still available, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, you can go to helpchrissaucier.com, or they can go to Amazon and buy the book. I mean, it's free if you've got Amazon Kindle. It's called American Double Standard: Patriot versus Politician.
Absolutely. Listen, thank you so much for joining us once again. It's always great to talk to you. I hope you'll come back and join us very soon.
Thank you, Xander.
Thanks a lot. Please give my love to Sadie and Cass.
I will.
Thanks a lot, buddy. Take care.
Yep.
Bye-bye. That was Christian Saucier, Navy vet. Make sure you go and support him. Go to helpchrissaucier.weebly.com. The link is on the page. You can go and donate to them, help them out a little. You can also, don't know who's calling. We're not taking any more calls tonight, guys. It's just guests now. After the phone in, it is just guests. And if you call from an unknown number, we can't accept your call either. Chet says Obama was the most corrupt man in history of American politics. I'm sorry, we don't take calls from unknown numbers. Please stop calling. So I'm going to start the introduction for my next guest. He is Tony Lasacco, and he will be calling us from the United States of America. I'm sure that wasn't him calling this early. He will be calling us very soon, hopefully. But I didn't recognize the number because it said number was unknown. I'm just setting up the auto cue in time. Chet says they'll claim Trump is keeping young Bigfoot in cages at the southern border. AOC will visit and take a photo up. Dave said Chris is an awesome man and his wife should get a medal for lobbying for his pardon. She absolutely should. I became good friends with the Saucier family, and no one was more deserving of a pardon than Chris. It really was a shunder that they ever put him in jail in the first place. I spent time on the phone with his wife when she was driving for 2 hours each way with a child in the car to go and visit him. I'm sure he won't mind me saying it's left them bankrupt, and it's absolutely disgusting. So if you want to help them out at all, you can go to helpchrissaucier.weebly.com. The link is on the Xander Gibb show page. And yes, Dave, goats' lives do matter. We'll be having some t-shirts coming very soon with Goats Lives Matter, and some with Oh Yes Siree. Let's hope that they will be pretty popular. I'm hoping that Tony is going to call in very soon so we can have a chat to him. Maybe this is him calling now. It looks like it is. So please join me and welcome him back to the show, the one, the only, the fabulous Mr. Tony Lasacco. Thank you for joining us, Tony. How is the world with you?
Very good, Xander. Very good.
Please tell me it's freezing cold in Florida, because it's like 49 degrees here, and I'm tired of everyone in the United States saying, "Oh, Zanny, I'm sitting by the pool and it's 80 million degrees."
No, it's pretty warm down here.
Well, I don't want to know that. Thank you. I am joking, of course. Do enjoy and make the best of the nice weather. I wanna jump right in with our first story of the night. Tucker Carlson ended his show last night accusing the New York Times of planning to expose where he lives to hurt his family, even going so far as to suggest the paper wants his family to get physically harmed. Now, the Times has denied his allegations. Last week, the New York Times began working on a story where my family and I live. As a matter of journalism, there is no conceivable justification for a story like that. Carlson said, adding, so why is the New York Times doing a story on the location of my family's house? Well, you know why, to hurt us, to injure my wife and kids so that I will shut up and stop disagreeing with them. If his address was to be exposed, it wouldn't be the first time. Carlson and his family were forced to move after his old address was made public, and an anti-fascist group turned up outside his house. He said 2 years ago, left-wing journalists publicized our home address in Washington. A group of screaming Antifa lunatics showed up while I was at work. They vandalized our home. They threatened my wife. She called 911 while hiding in a closet. Can we expect much less from the failing New York Times, Tony?
Oh, I mean, they have lived up to their reputation. I mean, just last week, their editor, one of their editorial people quit. What's her name? Barry Weiss. I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly.
Yeah.
Quit the New York Times because she was bullied and harassed out of there for having a centrist viewpoint and terrorized at the New York Times. And the bosses did nothing about it. I mean, I've been following this for quite a while. Just CNN has pulled the same thing. The New York Times isn't alone in this terrorism, and that's what it is. It is terrorism against people that speak out against them.
Yeah.
Just last week, CNN published the address in an article. I wish I could get to the page. CNN was instructing people how to boycott on a news article for Tucker Carlson's show.
Right.
What happened was, okay, now I remember, they had the article about Carlson, and in the article, at the end, information is said for those who want to know. Tucker Carlson is funded by MyPillow, and MyPillow is the sole sponsor, and if MyPillow wasn't enabling this, this wouldn't happen. This is MyPillow's information. How do you do that in a news article?
It's disgusting. That is absolutely disgusting. I even, when I first started doing the show, most people know that Xander Gibb is my professional name. I had to actually take on a professional name because I had people saying, I'm going to come and effing kill you. In fact, it still happens quite often. It's mostly my family, that do it nowadays, I have to add. But seriously, when you are a commentator, you really have to protect yourself. And I don't share where I am. People think I'm in New York, and that's great. I'm going to come and effing kill you, Xander Gibb. I know where you are in New York. Come find me, motherfucker. Excuse my French. But you don't want people knowing where you live because there are people out there that are nutbags, and they're going to come and try and kill you. Sorry, I flashed the white power sign again. I must apologize.
But see, here's the sickness of it. It's not okay just to disagree anymore with people, to say they're wrong or anything like that. The left wants them hurt, beat up, destroyed, their careers ruined, their families terrorized. This is sick. We are living in the age of lynch mob.
We are.
And it's not just on social media. It used to be contained just to social media, where people would blast on social media. But you should not have to fear losing your job, your home, and everything else because you said or did something. Maybe it was stupid, but that is not the retribution. People are not judge, jury, and executioner. I feel like everybody today wants to be Judge Dredd.
Right.
It's like everybody wants to be Judge Dredd, and it is really, let's face it, it is the liberal left. And I'm saying this not as a conservative, not as a Republican, as a centrist, as somebody that's a libertarian. You don't find that from conservatives. don't find that on the right. You just don't find the right calling for people to be killed, to be murdered, to be destroyed, to have their homes, their property taken, to be boycotted, to ruin everything. You find it only on the left, and there's this intolerance of the tolerance. And that's what I call it. It is the intolerance of the tolerance.
Exactly.
They will tolerate you as long as you
party
agree,
of tolerance.
God forbid you cross the line.
Isn't this a part of the cancel culture ideology? On the left, when they disagree with it, they want it gone, they want it canceled. Every TV show they don't like. So many comedy shows, like things like Will and Grace, have started to politicize, and I don't want to watch it. Market forces will ensue. However, I don't think it does any good to go out trying to cancel stuff. Although places like Facebook are seeing a reduction in advertising right now for their policies.
What we have basic principles that have been warped, corrupted, and perverted, okay? Like the whole technique of boycott, okay? That's a time-honored tradition to boycott as a legitimate form of protest, right? Okay, protest has always been legitimate in this country. Martin Luther King, carrying signs, sit-ins, okay? Protest never meant throwing rock-solid frozen water bottles and giving police concussions and making them bloody.
Absolutely.
Protest never meant throwing Molotov cocktails at things. We have come to an age in society where good is being spoken of as evil and evil is being spoken of as good. And that is what it's come to in this country. We are in an age where good is being spoken of as evil and evil is being spoken of as good. Just today at the Portland courthouse, they were talking about the peaceful protesters and how Trump's federal secret police were arresting them. Peaceful protesters, in the news clip, and the media was lying, and people were buying it. They're talking about peaceful protests. The woman was dressed all in black, spray painting all over the United States courthouse. Yeah. That's not a peaceful protest anymore.
Sounds very peaceful to me.
That's vandalism.
Sounds very peaceful to me. And the concern is they sell it as such. And then they have the audacity to say, don't go to a Trump protest because you're going to get the coronavirus. But it's okay for you to go to a riot and steal from black businesses. Even though Black Lives Matter, don't give two hoots about it. But that's okay because you're not going to get the coronavirus from rioting and pillaging and all of those things. It is the leftist ideology to do these things and support these things. But I think when you start putting people's lives at risk, something needs to be done, frankly.
People are waking up, and let me tell you who's waking up the most that I've noticed. The quote-unquote minorities, okay?
Yeah.
Are waking up the most to this line, okay? I just seen some other black people speaking about it, two women, and they speak about how the Democratic and how the liberal side is really the real racist, and how they're keeping them down and oppressing them, and say, we'll help you, we'll do this, we'll plan it out for you, telling them what to think and feel. People are sick of being told what to think and what to feel. And that the social engineering has got to stem. Now, I'm a supporter of masks, for instance, okay? I'm actually a supporter of that. But you know what the problem is? People are so sick of being told what to think and what to feel that they think everything's a conspiracy. They don't trust anymore.
Absolutely.
Because they've been lied to so much. And that is the problem. And the liberal lynch mob is not going to stop until there's no police, until you can't say or feel anything other than what they want you to think and feel. And that will be the end of it in this country.
It will, and that's an absolute worry, to say the least. I want to move on to another topic because we are time bound. In her very first segment, as a primetime host, Joy Reid welcomed former Vice President Joe Sleepy Biden for an interview that touched everything from President Donald Trump's response to the coronavirus pandemic. He surrendered, "Who am I, please," Biden declared, to his own complicit history on criminal justice reform. For a final question, Reid brought up an issue that she's been pressing on her show for several weeks. Most African Americans that I've talked to, she said, on a daily basis are concerned that black women in particular have been the heartbeat of the Democratic Party for a long time, really showed you up in places like South Carolina, Reid said. Are you committed to naming a black woman as your vice presidential running mate? He said, I'm not committed to naming any people that I've named right now, although 4 of them are black women. Biden responded, seeming to inadvertently make some news. So that decision is underway now. And by the way, black women have supported me my entire career, Biden added, resisting the urge to call them Negroes, I'm sure. He started to sound a bit defensive, saying you all like all of a sudden it was an epiphany in South Carolina. Is a black VP a way of trying to expel his prior examples of racism, and will it work?
I don't think it's I don't think he's trying to expel anything. I think he's giving in to the liberal mob, which is exactly why Donald Trump will probably get reelected president of the United States.
Right.
People are not, it's not that people like me don't like Joe Biden. And let me tell you something, it's probably going to be the centrists, the independents like me, that decide the outcome of the election in the end. And all those silent majority. And right now, I'm speaking as a independent, a registered independent. I'm scared to death not to elect Donald Trump because of what's going on in the country.
Exactly.
Okay? And in fact, I know some of your listeners were wondering where he stands. That's where I stand right now, and that's where a lot of independents. We're seeing the looting, we're seeing the rioting, we're seeing people's lives and careers get ruined, and we're becoming scared. Okay, of what would be in there if Donald Trump wasn't there? Would Joe Biden give in to the liberal lynch mob? I mean, just take the fact that he committed to name a woman vice president. Not that there is anything wrong with naming a woman vice president or a black woman vice president, but that shouldn't be a litmus test. That's unfair. What if the best candidate was a white 50-year-old male for vice president?
Exactly.
I mean, you pick the best person for the job. You don't pick somebody to pander to a political base, and that is the problem.
Exactly. And the worry for me is as well, this is why the specificity concerns me. You absolutely hit the nail on the head. It is about getting the best person for the job, whether that person happens to be black, white, green, whatever they might be, not to have the specificity of a color or a sex. Because like you said, that, there is, like in employment terms, that's classified as discrimination.
I'll go back to President Obama's first election. I got called a racist because I wasn't going to vote for him. And I had a very simple reason for not wanting to vote for Obama. His slogan was hope and change. I just asked a simple question of people. Oh, Obama's going to fix things. Obama. I said, hope and change. What's that mean? What's his plan? He didn't have one. And I got called a racist for it, whereas other people specifically told me to my face, it's time for a black president. We're voting for him. I'm like, you can't vote for somebody just because you think that. But they did.
Right.
And that's what that, I mean, not to say anything for or against President Obama, but I really believe the first election, he got elected because of the color of his skin.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people went out saying, oh, we need a black president.
Well, it certainly wasn't because of his experience level, was it? Because let's face it, he was a community organizer.
He was a community organizer with no experience or qualifications to become president of the United States. And I'm not commentating on whether it's good, bad, or anything. I'll leave that to your audience to decide. But the fact of the matter is, he came from nowhere. He was elected for, in my personal view, for one reason alone. And here's where the hate comes: because he was black.
Right.
Because a bunch of people thought it was time for a black president. Because normally you need experience, qualification, you need a platform other than hope and change.
Yeah.
Okay. So now why I say this, it's connected to what Biden is doing now, and the whole issue of will he pander to what they want? How far will he go? Will it be universal health care? Will it be quotas? how much is he willing to give the Bernie Sanders camp? And will it be too much and too late for America at that point? And that's the question everybody needs to ask.
Well,
If you don't like Donald Trump, and I've had my issues with him, as you know. It's the devil
Absolutely.
you know versus the devil you don't know in this case.
Yeah, absolutely. The thing is, for me, and whether this sounds dramatic or not, the concern is, for me, if they do elect Joe Biden, it will probably be too late for America. Because if the examples of what is being allowed right now under Democrat rule in Democrat cities and states is an example of what could happen, we need to run from it and run frickin' fast.
I mean, even here locally, we have this debate about defund the police. And our sheriff said something. I'm a mental health counselor, okay? Here's the thing. You're not going to send me out to a domestic call in place of a police officer.
Right.
They're going to kill me. The whole reason they send
Exactly.
police officers out to those calls is the risk of violence. They want to do traffic stops now without the police. Lots of luck there. Those traffic stops are usually, traffic stops, but then there's drug deals and other things out. This defund the police and decommission the police, it's a nightmare, lunatic. I think they're in the end of, I think they're on the ass end of Dorothy's Rainbow or something. Like, where can you get the idea that people will just respond nicely and accept things? The whole reason we have police and why they have guns and the power of arrest is because long ago, human beings came to the conclusion that some people won't listen and be nice. And
Right.
there has to be force involved.
Absolutely.
That's the whole point of the police.
Absolutely.
So if you get rid of that, people aren't just going to magically behave and get along.
No. And in a country,
That way.
in a country where we in the United States where we have the right to bear arms, if there's no legislative control as to how those are used, then no kind of decent society, because decent society crumbles with the eradication of the police. As far as I'm concerned, it's going to be like the Wild West again.
Well, how did we come to a point in this country, and I know we're short on time, where churches are being told in some states they cannot worship. They can open, but they cannot sing worship because of the coronavirus. How
Yeah.
did we come to a point in this country where we have people defending their homes that were attacked by a mob of protesters and threatened, arrested for taking a gun out and defending their homes?
Exactly.
What have we come to in this country where people's real freedoms are being trampled on and it's being glorified?
Absolutely.
You have to ask, where is the Constitution?
It's scary to say the least. And there we have to leave it, unfortunately, Tony. Thank you so much for joining us today. Tell people where they can find you on social media.
You can find me at The Center, capital C on Facebook. Look it up, The Center on Facebook.
Absolutely. Tony Lasacco, thank you so much for joining us. Givallah to Kiko.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, brother. Take care. That was Tony Lasacco. Make sure you check him out at The Center. Please be sure to do so. I don't know what happened there. Where are we? Trying to close the Skype. Turns out we had some great new guests, new people in the live feed tonight, but others that were kind of unwelcome because I'd erroneously shared in some groups I shouldn't have shared in. We are at the end of the show. Thanks to everyone who's made today's show possible. Thanks to Navy vet Christian Saucier. Check out his information on the Xander Gibb show page for today. Make sure you go and support him if you can. Thank you to Tony Lasacco, our second guest. Thanks to my good friend Chet Martin for calling in and giving his perspective of what's going on in the United States today. Not had your fill of the Gibster, that's me. You can catch me 5 nights a week, 5 Pacific, 7 Central, 8 Eastern, 1 in the UK, and 10 a.m. 10 a.m. the next day in Australia. Join us tomorrow for more scintillating chat when singers Sean Smith and Swoop join us. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe out there. I have been Xander Gibb, and I love you all. Click that share button, and don't forget to like the Xander Gibb show page. I love you all. I really do. Bye-bye.
It has been good to me this time around. Things were never bound to change when it was found. Sugar never tasted sweeter on my lips. My heart is now intact, and I can find no rest. This is love, yeah, love. Never known true love before. Seen so many counterfeits that left me on the floor. This is love, yeah, love. All will come to those who wait. Time it cannot know the bounds, and eras don't dictate.
Click the bell button and subscribe to keep up with the Xander Gibb Show. Oh, yes,